morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We'll start in a couple of minutes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So you can all open the textbook and look at what we have discussed in the previous class. You can go through that.
Sir, and we have to color also in the drawing which we had made in the project.
It is not absolutely essential that you need to color, but if you feel that by putting the color, it will highlight whatever cell organelle or whatever structure you are making, then you can do it, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay. The purpose of using the color should not be cosmetic. It should be with the purpose that whatever you are trying to represent, it should give some clarity to that one. It should be meaningful. Then we'll do it. Okay. There is no point of wasting time in doing lot of decorations, and all those cosmetic activities are not required. Okay, we'll start.
Sir, introduction and content we have to write or not?
Once again.
Sir, introduction and content we have to write or not?
Yeah, introduction and content, you can answer whatever is given specifically in the question, right? Because it is mainly like a question and answer that I have given. So if you feel that there is a scope to write the introduction, and that one you can write, but it is not an experiment, right? Because it is not an experiment. So but if you feel that there are some points we can write for introduction, definitely you can write, no problem with that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let us start. In the previous class, we have discussed about the animal tissues, the different types of animal tissues. So there are the four types of animal tissues. They are the epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. Okay, four types. We have already covered which one? Epithelial is covered. So can anyone tell me that which kind of tissue is present in the trachea, the windpipe? The inner lining of the trachea will have ciliated columnar epithelium.
Columnar epithelium.
Okay. What type of tissue will be present in the inner lining of the cheek? The cheeks are there, no? Inner lining of the cheeks. Which type of squamous epithelium will be there? Which type of tissue will be there in the ducts of the, say, salivary glands?
Glandular epithelium.
Yes.
Angular epithelium.
Yes.
Glandular.
In the glandular epithelium will be present in the lining of the stomach and intestine, okay, as well as it will be present in the hollow or tubular glands, whereas the cuboidal cells, they will be present in the glandular ducts like salivary glands, pancreatic parts of the kidney tubule. So the what is the main difference between this cuboidal and glandular? So whereas these glandular ducts, what they are involved in, they are involved in the secretion function, okay, and they will be present in the lining, okay, almost like an outermost layer. Whereas the cuboidal one, they are found in the glandular ducts, okay, and parts of the kidney tubules. So where exactly they are there? They are there in these tubes or ducts, okay, whereas the glandular cells are there in the gland itself, not in the duct. They are there in the gland where they will produce. So whether the duct is producing that secretion or the gland is producing the secretion?
Sir, gland.
Gland is producing. The duct is only acting as a pipe to carry it. So the pipe is having the cuboidal, like here you are seeing this pipe structure, but the glandular one is present in the gland. That is the simple difference. So today we will be seeing the remaining types of the animal tissues. One is the connective tissue. Connective tissue. So as the name suggests, connective tissue means it is going to connect the organs or tissues, and these kind of tissues, they have a lot of matrix in between them, that is some kind of filler material, okay, just like cement we put in between the bricks, it is a filler material, it is a matrix. Like that only a lot of intercellular space will be filled up with this matrix and some fibers. So different types of connective tissue are there. Connective tissue proper, okay, broadly we have to see first connective tissue proper. Next is the supportive connective tissue, and third is the fluid connective tissue. Okay, the green part you will be focusing. Connective tissue proper, supportive connective tissue, and fluid connective tissue. Connective tissue proper, the term means that its original proper term is a connective tissue, that function only it will be doing. Okay, there are the three types: areolar, adipose, and fibrous. Okay, areolar, areolar, areolar tissue, adipose tissue, and fibrous tissue. When we say areolar, it sounds something like a filled with air. Okay, so for example, we also order some things online, then it comes with some kind of packing, like some bubble wrap will be there, some what you say, thermocol may be there, cardboard will be there, all this kind of packing material will be there. So this areolar tissue has this kind of packing function. It is present most widely beneath the epidermis of the skin, and its function is to make the skin elastic. So because the skin has to withstand this pulling strain, okay, so whenever we are pulling the skin, it should not come off, so that it should have that elasticity. That elasticity is coming because of the areolar tissue. Next is the adipose or fat tissue. These are specialized cells that will store the fat, and they provide the cushion, okay, for different internal organs. Okay, it may be the eyes, under the skin, okay, in the kidneys, many other organs. They are all surrounded by a layer of fat. This fat will allow, any kind of impact is there, mechanical impact is coming, it should not get damaged. So that kind of a structure will be there. Fats will provide that kind of cushioning support. It is providing a padding under the skin, act as an insulator for retaining the body heat. So when we look at the polar bear, for example, the polar bear will consume a lot of food before the winter season, okay, build up a lot of body fat, and then it goes to hibernation during the extreme winters. The fats will not only be available for energy, but also that thick layer of fat on the body will keep it warm. It will not allow the extreme cold weather to affect its internal organs. Okay, so that is what we say, that the fats under the skin have the important role. Okay, these days many people have the wrong concept. No, we should not have any fats, we should be like a, like a bag of bones or something. That's not good. These fats have very important function in the body. They not only provide this cushioning for the internal organs, but also they provide the insulation for the body, okay, so that the body heat is not lost outside, and outside cold does not easily affect the internal organs. You may also have heard about people suffering from obesity. Okay, obesity is excessive weight. Okay, highly excessive weight is building in the body. So by surgical method, which type of tissue will be removed? Okay, it will be the adipose tissue. Okay, the adipose tissue is going to have a lot of fat storage. Okay, so by removing this adipose tissue, okay, that can help the extremely obese person. The next type of this one is the fibrous connective tissue. The name suggests a fibrous, means it is like fibers. So made up of fibers which are elongated cells, and they are bundled together by the areolar tissue. There are two types of fibrous tissue, tendons and ligaments. So if we focus on the knee joint, for example, okay, so here this kneecap is there, and we have this calf muscles, okay, quadricep muscles. So these very strong muscles, they are connected to the bone, muscle to the bone. This attachment is by the tissue that is known as tendon. The bone to bone attachment is also required. Okay, this bone to bone attachment is by the special tissue which is known as the ligament. So many times when sportsmen or children, when they get hurt, they are playing some kind of sports or something, and they fall down, or they have some kind of a sprain, or what we say, there may be no fracture in the bone. Okay, the bone is not broken, it's undamaged, the x-ray is not showing any signs of the damage to the bone, but there is extreme pain. Okay, it's almost like really there is a fracture. So there what happens is, most often there is what you say ligament tear. The bone to bone attachment, there it will tear. Okay, it takes a lot of time to heal. Okay, So that connection between bone to bone is the ligament, between the muscle to bone is the tendon. It is a confusion term, most of the students will keep on confusing. What is the difference between the ligament and tendon? Tendon. Okay, T and ten, do and don. Tendon. How you will remember something? You have to be, because this is a term that is confused. Most of the students will confuse. Which is for what? So tendon is something like, you can say there are the 10 fibers. Okay, and they are connecting to the don. Don is very strong. Okay, the bone. Tendon. So muscle to bone. Ligament is bone to bone. Okay, bone to bone. This bone to bone attachment. So you can use some kind of everyone has a different way of remembering things, but you have to devise your own, whatever makes it easy for you to remember. L, ligament. Ligament is connecting one bone to another bone. Okay, so you can use whatever method you want to remember, but you should not confuse between these two. Who is connecting what? Okay, it is a favorite question with examiners, that tendon is connecting what and what, ligament is connecting what and what. Right. Next. Supportive connective tissue. Supportive connective tissue. So when we say supportive connective tissue, there are the two important, cartilage and bone. Okay, they are giving support in this one for the structure of our body, maintenance of the structure of our body. The bones are important, right? Bones are giving the structure to our body. Okay, so the bone is a hard porous tissue. Okay, porous tissue. Of course, everyone know that bones are hard, but it is also a porous tissue. Porous means
Having pores.
having pores. Okay, so it will allow some things to pass through it. So it is having a good supply of blood vessels and nerves. Now, which part of the body is involved in the production of blood?
Bone marrow.
Bone marrow. So inside the bones there is the hollow cavity. In that hollow cavity, the bone marrow is going to produce the blood. So if the blood is produced inside the bone, how the blood is going to come outside? Because most of the students, most of the people, they think that bone is like marble, very strong, and it is like a stone almost. But the bone is a porous structure. It will allow the blood and the other materials to pass through it. Okay, so it has a very good supply of blood vessels and nerves also. Therefore, if a surgeon is not giving general anesthesia and only giving a local anesthesia on the whatever you say, the outer muscles and all those things, and you puncture the bone, extreme pain will be there. Okay, why? Because the bones themselves also have the very good supply of the nerves. The bones are made up of both living cells which are known as the osteoblast. This is another favorite question. Okay, living cells of the bones are known as osteo, osteoblast. Okay, it is made up of the living cells that are osteoblast and a rigid mass of inorganic salts. Inorganic salts mostly in the bone. What are there? All of you know very well. Bones are having mainly what elements are there? Calcium is there.
Calcium, phosphorus, magnesium.
Phosphorus, magnesium. Yes, all these things are there. Okay, calcium,
Zinc
phosphates,
also.
magnesium, all these things. So all of these things they are going to give the strength, solidness to the bone. If you dip that bone in a dilute acid and leave it like that for some time, few days in a dilute acid, you leave it. Slowly the acid will eat away those salts. It will leach. The salts will be all dissolved and they will go away. And then what that bone is left, it will be very flexible. It will be almost like like something very flexible. It will be. So the inorganic salts are going to provide the strength, and osteoblasts or the living cells are going to make that framework. Okay, that is the structure. Just like in the house we use the rods and all this for beams, pillars and all those things, they are providing the structure. Like that osteoblasts, the living cells will provide that structure or matrix, and on that these inorganic salts will provide the strength. When we compare the bone to the cartilage, where we are finding the cartilage?
In ear.
More than years.
Yeah. So generally what is happening, the tip of the nose are very flexible, ears, the tip of the ears are very flexible. Okay, these all flexible. These, can we call these are bones? These are not bones. Okay, a bone is a hard structure. It is not a flexible structure, never a flexible structure. A bone is a hard porous structure, whereas a cartilage is a semi-transparent elastic structure. Okay, the tip of the nose, external ears, trachea, that is our windpipe, bronchial tubes. Okay, and between the vertebrae, our the vertebral column, whatever in between the vertebral column also, they will be the cartilage will be there, so that it will provide some kind of mechanical cushion to that one. Okay, and at the end of the long bones also, in the joints also, you will see there is a cartilage. This cartilage is a non-porous tissue. Unlike the bone, it is non-porous. It is having very thickened intercellular substances, matrix. And most importantly, cartilage does not have any supply of blood vessels or nerves. Therefore, if you make a hole in the bone, through the bone, and make a hole through the cartilage, the pain making hole through the bone is extremely great. But through the cartilage, most commonly many people get their cartilage in the nose and ears, they get it pierced. Okay, for putting some rings or something, they get it pierced. So the pain that is coming, there is pain. It's not that there is no pain. Okay, the cartilage does not have any nerves, but whatever tissues are there around it, they have few nerve endings will be there. Okay, so that is why you still get some pain, but the cartilage itself doesn't have any nerves. If the nerve will get damaged, then the pain is extremely high, damage of the nerves. Okay, so here that's what is the main difference. Cartilage is not having any blood vessel supply, it is not having any nerves, it is semi-transparent and elastic. Next, the third type of the connective tissue is the fluid connective tissue. Fluid, all of us know fluid is a kind of a liquid. In our body, there are the two types of fluids are there. One is the blood, one is the lymph. In class 8 also you have studied circulatory system, blood and lymph. The circulation of the blood in the body and lymph in the body, whether it is the same process or different.
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 Sir, different.
So
Different
who is
process.
responsible for the circulation of the blood?
Sir, heart.
Heart. Heart is the pump. It is going to pump the blood through the blood vessels, okay, arteries, veins, capillaries, through this whole system and network of pump and tubes. The blood will flow. But what about lymph? Whether the heart is involved in the pumping lymph across the body?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. So how will the lymph flow? The flow or the circulation of the lymph is a passive process. Okay, so when we do some physical exercise, when we are walking and so on, so that improves our circulation. That is what they say, no, that you should keep walking at least this one, that will improve your circulation, keep your circulation proper, that is for good for health and all these things. So what, that is the circulation, because the blood will anyway circulate, because the heart is pumping and that the blood will circulate, no problem. But the lymph circulation requires the activeness in the part of the person. A lazy person who is only sitting before the television or watching the mobile morning to evening playing games, the person's lymphatic circulation will be very poor. So if lymphatic circulation is poor, then what is the problem?
Sir,
Weak immunity.
Immunity will become less.
Loss of immunity.
Immunity will be less because in the blood we have the liquid part and cell part. Liquid part is called plasma. The cell part we are having RBC, WBC and platelets. But in the lymph we don't have RBC, we have WBC. So there is a large amount of WBC, white blood cells or lymphocytes, that are present in the lymph. They are going to provide the immunity, they are going to fight the infection. But a lazy person whose lymphatic circulation is not very good, for him the problem is there, for the person the problem is there. Okay, so both the blood and the lymph are required for the immunity, and this one lymph is a bit it has it needs some active participation on our side. Okay, so that is the connective tissue. Okay, connective tissue proper, supportive connective tissue and fluid connective tissue. Three types of connective tissue we have seen. Okay, we have couple of minutes remaining. I don't think we will start this muscular tissue. We will do that in the next class. Muscular and nervous tissue we will do in the next class. Any doubts you have, you want to ask?
no, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
is it possible that that bone is there without inorganic salt?
A bone, no, once a living person, in a living person the bone will be always mineralized. Okay, but you know there is the diseases, some diseases are there, particularly what you say osteomalacia. So in osteomalacia what is going to osteoporosis? Osteoporosis is a very common problem these days. Okay, particularly in the case of the females, what is happening, there is a calcium deficiency. Okay, it is called what? Osteoporosis. Pores are there. The bones they will become very brittle. Bones are very brittle. The person will be little bit falling here and there, bones are getting broken. Okay, general body will be weakness, no strength is not there. So such a person requires calcium supplements. Okay, has to take calcium supplements to increase the strength of the bones. So such a person will have, what you can say, the bones will be very weak because the mineral content is less. But it doesn't happen that completely there is a total minerals are gone. That never happens.
And sir, one more doubt I have.
Yes.
Sir, in the in obesity. So there is due to too much exercise bodybuilding. So then in that case, we are removing adipose tissue, which is having fat tissue. Then, as you said, that fat tissue is important for our.
So I think your voice is breaking. I could not get your question in total. But you see, this adipose tissue is having the fats. Fats are important for the body. Anyone who is having lot of fats, you can remove that lot of fats by surgical process. There is no problem with that. 100% adipose tissue will not be removed. If you remove like that, your person will die. Okay, I will see you all in the next class. Thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Anyone has a doubt? One more question
Yes,
we
sir.
can take. Yeah, go ahead.
sir, when we drill into the bone, sir, why is it more painful than drilling into the cartilage?
Yeah, the same thing we have discussed already. In the bones, there are the nerves are there. But in the cartilage, there are no nerves. So therefore, you won't feel the pain. Because ultimately the receptors, pain receptors and all those things, they have to come through the nerves. No, there will be some receptors will be there. But cartilage is what we saw. It is not having. It is a almost semi-transparent. It is having a lot of